over, and you are watching the political, because you know you're getting lied to when you watch the corporate media. You know they're lying. Then they're going to cut to a commercial from Shell Oil or the pharmaceutical companies, and that's why they deliberately say, how Medicare for all, how are we going to pay for it? You know they're not telling you the truth, and they're not covering stuff enough about all this Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell stuff. It's crazy. It is a crazy web. It's a crazy web. So we've talked about Judge Salas, right? She was assigned to that case, investigating Deutsche Bank as being sued by investors who the relationship that Deutsche Bank had with Epstein. Deutsche Bank, we've talked about this now, very corrupt. They're acting like, oh, we didn't know. They're all trying to play this we didn't know nonsense. They were part of this whole, it all ties back to Deutsche Bank, right? So then this assailant went to the Judge Salas's home, killed her son. This is horrific that she had to go through this just for being assigned to the case, killed her son and shot her husband. And then they found him with a self-inflicted gunshot wound in a car nearby. So, gee, Lee Harvey Oswald style, we're never going to know what his real motives were. Alleged Salas family assailant previously worked for U.S.-Israeli intelligence-linked firm. This was just put up by Whitney Webb. We're going to have her on the show. I'm working out, she's in a bunch of different, she's like different countries, so it's a time zone issue. But we're going to have her on the show. But I wanted to go through, because she just put this out. It's a great article. Whitney Webb does great work. I'll put the link in the show notes. We've had her on the show before. She's gone really deep on the Epstein stuff. We had her on 3 weeks ago when Ghislaine Maxwell was arrested. So the name of the shooter now, we know, is Roy Den Hollander. Previously worked for a New York firm, has been described as a private CIA with ties to those countries' intelligence agencies and also ties to Deutsche Bank. Here's the thing about you dig this Epstein stuff. Everything kind of, it's a big rabbit hole, but everything gets connected. We've talked about Ghislaine Maxwell has ties to Mossad. Her father, Robert Maxwell, was a Mossad agent. When I had John Kiriakou, former CIA agent, who was a whistleblower, on this show a year ago, after Epstein was killed in prison, he didn't kill himself, John Kiriakou said, this has to be the Israelis, right? He said that on this show. Go to my Epstein playlist and look. Well, John Kiriakou says that. So we keep hearing Mossad, we keep hearing CIA, we keep hearing Deutsche Bank. Den Hollander once worked for Kroll Associates' Moscow office, where he managed and upgraded Kroll's delivery of intelligence and security in the former Soviet Union from 1999 to 2000. The Kroll executives in charge of the Russian portfolio prior to Den Hollander were E. Norbert Garrett, a former CIA station chief in Cairo and Kuwait, and Joseph Rossetti, former chief of security for IBM. Why does it's so weird that the intelligence community is always working with tech companies? That's weird. During that period, and prior to his hiring at Kroll, Den Hollander worked as a lawyer in Russia regarding legal and business issues, including international financing and marketing. What keeps coming up with the Epstein billionaire sex trafficking pedophile ring? It's not just the raping and selling of children, which is horrific. It's weapons dealing. It's big finance. So we've talked about this on this show. We know Epstein, that's one of the things he would do. He would get some powerful person at one of his homes. Oh, you want a massage? A butler would come and say, do you want a massage from a young lady? Oh, sure. She would be a child, perform sex acts. They would have it on video. And then Epstein would say, we have this on, which is what intelligence agencies have been doing for centuries. Now we have leverage on you. We know from the finders that the CIA was selling children for trafficking. They would use it as leverage. Oh, we need this asset. We need this asset to get us information. Oh, that asset's a pedophile? Great, we'll get that asset kids. They didn't care. So we know the CIA has been doing this. And now this guy dresses up as a FedEx employee, goes to the judge overseeing the Deutsche Bank case, and just tries to, either he was trying to kill her and he missed, or this is just a threat to her. Hey, you better do the case. This is what we can get this close to. And then he kills himself. And he has ties to finance, and ties to Deutsche Bank, and ties to the CIA, including international financing and marketing, because that was one of the things Epstein would do. He had a fake hedge fund, and after he got video on these guys, raping a child, he would, oh, why don't you invest in my fake hedge fund? And that's how Epstein had all this money. And as Maria Farmer said, Epstein was a project manager. And all these filthy billionaires, you cannot become a billionaire without being amoral and abhorrent. Whether you're a pedophile or not, you still have no moral compass to become a billionaire. So, including international financing and marketing, and married a Russian woman that he met during this time there that he subsequently claimed was part of the Russian mafia. And we can almost assuredly know the Russian mafia is involved in sex trafficking. I mean, that's one of the things that happened when the Soviet Union collapsed. The Russian mafia came in. There was all this poverty. They snatched up young girls and boys. Kroll Associates would later be known as the CIA of Wall Street and Wall Street's private eye. The firm frequently hired former CIA and FBI officers, as well as former members of MI6 and Mossad. Again, the John Kiriakou interview that we did last year, John said there are somewhere in the neighborhood of 80 or more Mossad agents operating in America today. It's weird that AIPAC donates so much money. Completely separate issue, right? AIPAC donates all this money to all these politicians. And there's all these movies on HBO and Netflix that are always very pro-Israel. Good luck trying to get a movie critical of the Israeli government into any of them. Good luck. They spend all this money to control the narrative. I'm not anti-Semitic for bringing this up. I'm just showing you this is how this country asserts its power. In the same way that we do. We spend all this money. Try to make a movie that shows how awful the CIA is. You can make that movie. You won't get it bought. No one on Netflix or anyone else is going to buy it from you. This is how we do this. This is how they work. Counting former FBI and NSA officials among its ranks, alongside former high-ranking members of the Israeli Defense Forces and Shin Bet, Israel's domestic intelligence agency. Kroll also boasted ties to the Bush family, with Jonathan Bush, George Bush Sr.'s brother, serving on its corporate advisory board, and Kroll was also employed by Bill Clinton's first presidential campaign. Same names keep coming up. Bill Clinton, flight logs indicate he was on 26 flights of Epstein. He was on Epstein's plane 26 times. Flight logs showed Hillary was on twice. We know from eyewitness accounts, from dozens of staff members, and flight logs that Bill and Hillary were at Epstein's compound in New Mexico. Bill Gates has been there. Jules Kroll had an odd meeting with Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's father, shortly before his death, alleged by most Maxwell biographers and his family to have been a homicide. And Robert Maxwell was most assuredly a Mossad agent. Kroll came under scrutiny after being hired by disgraced media mogul Harvey Weinstein, along the private Mossad for hire firm Black Cube. Same names coming up. And Weinstein and Epstein were pals. And so was Ghislaine Maxwell. That was the thing Epstein would. So in addition to luring the, we're going to make you a famous model, he had a fake modeling agency. Trump had a modeling agency. Modeling world is horrific for sexual trafficking. That was one of the things Maxwell, Ivana Trump, and other women would do, is recruit. They would do that. They all had modeling agencies. That's how they would. But also, Epstein would say, hey, I'm friends with Harvey Weinstein. He can put you in a movie. That's how Weinstein got it. He'd come to my hotel room at 3 a.m, have sex with me, and I'll put you in a movie. If someone's like, whoa, wait a minute. And he would force himself in rape. But Weinstein's a rapist. He's in prison. Epstein is a rapist and a pedophile, a sex trafficker. And he hung himself with a paper t-shirt, we're supposed to believe. Weinstein had been instructed to hire Black Cube by Ehud Barak, the former Israeli military intelligence head and Israeli prime minister with close ties to Jeffrey Epstein and a frequent visitor to Epstein's residences. Bill Clinton was at the residences. Now, Israeli prime minister testimony of Epstein victim Maria Farmer strongly implies that Ghislaine Maxwell and Epstein shared women and potentially underage girls with the film producer, Weinstein. Yeah, I'm really tired of Ghislaine Maxwell being called socialite and gal pal and enabler. She's a pedophile and a sex trafficker and a monster. Maria Farmer, who's currently battling cancer right now. If you go to my Twitter or Whitney Webb's Twitter, we retweeted Maria Farmer's Twitter handle, so show her some love. Maria Farmer is very brave for coming out and telling the story. And Alan Dershowitz is trying to smear. Alan Dershowitz is also a pedophile piece of shit. So, and Whitney Webb knows this because Whitney Webb did a 3-hour interview with Maria Farmer. And Whitney Webb came on my show to talk about it, even gave me some audio clips from it to play. Den Hollander was motivated to kill Esther Salas' husband and sons due to his hatred of feminism as a rapid attempt to explain away a story that clearly warrants further investigation. And I told you this when it happened last week, Sunday or whatever it happened. I told you, I said, they're going to paint this guy, now that he's dead, we can't question him, as a wingnut lone gunman like they did with Oswald, who said, I'm a patsy, and then boom. He was killed. So this guy hated feminism. So we're really that's the angle we're going to go after. That's nonsense. This has to do with Deutsche Bank. This has to do with Epstein. There's no way he's just, a hothead. Come on. So he hated feminism so much that he killed the judge's son, shot her husband, and then killed himself. He worked for an agency that had ties to the CIA and Mossad and other and MI6, and we're really supposed to believe he was just a guy, just the toxic masculinity got the better of him. We're supposed to believe that? Okay, yeah. Weird that the camera stopped working where Epstein was, and we've seen no photos or video of Ghislaine Maxwell, only a courtroom artist sketch of her in a Zoom call for her hearing, for her bail hearing. She was denied bail, so she's not going to make it out of prison. And Trump just said, well, I wish her well. Basically, Trump just said, later. A rapid yet shoddy cover-up of the shooter's ties to Kroll Associates and actual motives revealed that Epstein's financial ties and more frightening to certain powerful individuals and institutions than his trove of sexual blackmail. That's what's really going to... Because these banking folks, they do awful shit. And if that came out, people would go, I don't know what's going to wake people up to this. I'm glad people are in the streets in Portland and stuff and cities all over America for Black Lives Matter and to get federal agents out of their towns. But I hope people wake up to this too. Because this is just preposterous. This is like mob hit kind of crap. This is like an episode of The Sopranos. Like, what the hell? And Whitney Webb's absolutely correct. They always try to distract. We've talked about this before on the show. They just try to move the discussion a little bit. Like, did Epstein kill himself or is he still alive? That debate, getting that debate going. Guess what we're not talking about? We're not talking about all the powerful people in Epstein's black book. Oh, was this guy a crazy women-hating dude? Guess what we're not talking about? All the Deutsche Bank crimes. No one who's going to investigate that. The most powerful people in the world are tied into all of this. So that's why you come here, folks, to get the truth. We're going to keep digging it. I'm going to have Whitney on this show, and we're going to talk even more about this. And who knows what's going to happen in the next couple days. My name's Graham Elwood. You're watching The Political Vigilante. Like, share, subscribe, support this show, whatever you can. I don't get any corporate money. I only get funding from you. So the reason I keep going is because you keep supporting me. Thank you so much. Shave your knuckles for justice. And don't forget, the guy that approved all of Trump's loans, committed suicide in 2017. Isn't that weird? But last year, he committed suicide. Isn't it weird? Commit suicide. Approves the Trump loans, commit suicide. Weird. Weird things keep happening at Deutsche Bank. Weird things keep happening at Deutsche Bank. Hey, everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification button and the subscribe button, even if you've done it before, because they're unsubscribing, many of you, every day. Watch the ads all the way through. If you click skip ad, I don't get paid. Also, support us at patreon.com/Graham Elwood or rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. Rockfin.com is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. All my videos are on Rockfin ad-free. Thanks for watching.